For a long time, many fans of Seçkin Özdemir worried mainly about visibility. Would he get stronger projects? Would he gain bigger international recognition? Would modern streaming platforms help his career grow again? But recently, another concern started becoming much bigger and much heavier. Can the Turkish entertainment industry itself survive economic crisis and currency instability? Because what is happening in Turkey is not just ordinary economic fluctuation anymore. The country experienced serious inflation pressure, currency depreciation, rising production costs, and increasing financial uncertainty. Naturally, many fans began asking a difficult question. What happens to actors, producers, and television industries during this kind of economic pressure? At first glance, the situation looks dangerous. Because entertainment industries depend heavily on money. Productions require equipment, transportation, salaries, locations, marketing, technical crews, and massive organizational systems. So when inflation rises aggressively, everything becomes more expensive. And this is exactly where many people begin assuming the worst. That the industry might collapse completely. But things are not that simple. Because the Turkish entertainment industry today is very different from what it was years ago. At the beginning, Turkish television mainly depended on domestic audiences. Local ratings mattered most, national advertising mattered most, and the entire system revolved around the Turkish economy itself. But over time something huge happened. Turkish dramas became global. Quietly, the industry transformed into one of the world's largest television export sectors. Suddenly Turkish productions were no longer watched only inside Turkey. They spread across Latin America, Middle East, South Asia, Balkans, Eastern Europe, and global streaming platforms. And this changed the survival structure of the entire industry. Because now Turkish entertainment no longer depends only on domestic economic conditions. International demand became part of the equation. And ironically, this created a very unusual situation. Currency depreciation inside Turkey can actually make Turkish productions more attractive internationally. Why? Because for foreign buyers using dollars or euros, Turkish productions may become relatively cheaper compared to some other international content markets. So while domestic economic pressure increases, international export competitiveness can also increase simultaneously. That sounds contradictory, but modern global entertainment often works exactly like this. And this export system became extremely important for industry survival. Because Turkish drama exports reportedly generate hundreds of millions of dollars internationally. That foreign revenue matters enormously during periods of economic instability. But the problems are still very real. Production companies continue facing heavy pressure from inflation, equipment costs, rising wages, transportation expenses, and shrinking financial flexibility, and this creates major consequences inside the industry. Some projects become delayed, budgets become smaller, risk-taking decreases, production companies become more cautious, and long expensive productions become harder to sustain. This affects everyone: actors, writers, directors, technical teams, and media companies. But then another major transformation entered the picture: streaming platforms. And this changed everything again. Because platforms connected to global audiences created alternative financial ecosystems beyond traditional Turkish television. Now productions can survive through international licensing, streaming partnerships, multinational audiences, digital distribution, and global subscriptions. And this is where actors like Seçkin Özdemir gain an important advantage. Because modern actors no longer depend only on domestic ratings systems. Today audiences can continue discovering actors through Netflix libraries, social media edits, YouTube clips, fan communities, and multilingual subtitles, meaning visibility now survives much longer digitally. And perhaps this is one reason many fans still remain optimistic about Seçkin Özdemir despite economic uncertainty. Because they already believe he proved his talent years ago. So the question becomes less about survival of ability, and more about adaptation to a changing industry structure. Interestingly, the Turkish entertainment industry already survived multiple difficult periods before. Political pressure, economic instability, media restructuring, inflation. Yet despite those crises, Turkish dramas continued expanding internationally. That suggests the industry developed strong adaptation mechanisms over time. And another important factor appears here. Global demand for Turkish dramas still remains strong. Audiences worldwide continue connecting emotionally with romantic storytelling, family themes, historical narratives, cinematic aesthetics, and emotionally intense characters. As long as international audiences continue watching Turkish productions, the industry retains significant survival capacity. But things are changing rapidly. Economic pressure is already accelerating transformation inside entertainment itself. Shorter productions are becoming more attractive. Digital-first formats are growing. Vertical dramas are increasing. Lower-risk streaming projects are becoming more common. And this is exactly why projects like Cosas feel so important to many observers. Because they represent adaptation to a new entertainment reality. Smaller, faster, more digital, more internationally shareable, and perhaps more economically sustainable during uncertain periods. Meanwhile, social media also changed celebrity survival itself. Years ago, actors depended heavily on television channels, newspapers, local media systems. Now audiences directly support actors online through Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, fan edits, and streaming engagement. This creates additional visibility systems outside traditional television. And another surprising reality appears during economic crises. Sometimes entertainment consumption actually increases. Because during stressful periods, people search for emotional escape. Streaming becomes cheaper than many outside activities. Digital entertainment becomes comfort, and audiences continue consuming stories even during financial difficulty. So the biggest danger is not necessarily disappearance of talent. The biggest danger is reduced investment confidence. Production companies become more careful. Experimental projects decrease. High-budget risks become rarer. And uncertainty slows decision-making. But talent itself does not disappear. In fact, economic pressure may push the Turkish entertainment industry toward even stronger globalization. More international co-productions, more streaming partnerships, more multinational collaborations, and that could potentially create new opportunities for internationally recognized actors like Seçkin Özdemir. Because modern entertainment no longer functions only through national television systems. It functions through global streaming ecosystems, digital fandoms, cross-border visibility, and multinational audiences. So can the Turkish entertainment industry survive economic crisis and currency collapse? Based on the evidence, yes. The situation is difficult, but not hopeless. Because the industry already transformed into a global entertainment export system connected to international demand. And industries connected to worldwide audiences often develop stronger survival capacity during domestic economic instability. For actors like Seçkin Özdemir, long-term career sustainability may increasingly depend on international visibility, streaming ecosystems, digital discoverability, global fandom activity, and adaptability to changing entertainment formats. And perhaps that is the most important point of all. The Turkish entertainment industry does not appear to be disappearing. It appears to be evolving under pressure.